Gonna start. Just gonna put the recording button.
Okay.
Um, so welcome, Raissa. Welcome to our WED Pan African Investment Conference. It is a pleasure to have you with us, and I'm really excited to know, what you're doing and how, STEM is going to be an advantage or an asset for, African women, especially African women doing business in Africa. So before we start, our conversation, can you let us know, who you are and what are the key things that you've done so far as STEM is concerned?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mihai, for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to participate to this panel. Donc, like you say, my name is Raissa Malu. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I am a physicist by training, and in this STEM field, we organize each year since 2014 the Science and Technology Week, which is an event to promote science STEM fields among young people and to promote to develop a scientific and technological culture among the young in DRC. And in STEM field, in particular for women, we have launched last year a database about women in STEM fields. And we have launched a scholarship program with the Congolese business network, Sultani Makutano, of my dear friend Nicole Sulu, which we finance studies and research in STEM fields for women only.
Okay, so that's that. I mean, we hear a lot about STEM, especially in this time of digital disruption. And one question that I have for you is, what are the opportunity in Africa? What are the opportunity do you think we have in Africa, especially for women, beyond this STEM sector?
Uh, you know, um, for about the STEM sector, the opportunity for us is to develop new services and to develop skills and to develop new services. But here in Africa, we have many challenges. The problem is about infrastructure. We definitely need cheap energy and internet access, and that's really limit our possibility to develop in Africa. But what is good is that we see that young people are really striving, are doing their best, are developing new services. And this COVID-19 pandemic is definitely an opportunity for Africa because we accelerate the integration of digital in education, for example, in the way we are working. So it's really an opportunity. The pandemic is an opportunity for Africa to develop all these technology, these new technology in different sectors.
Yes, and that's key, that people understand that yes, there are, challenges during this pandemic, but the opportunity is there, especially in, like you said, in the STEM sector. And you talked about the young people being very enthusiastic about the STEM. So what do you do to cater for them, to bring them, in and create opportunity for them?
Okay, we need to work in two aspects about supply and demand. About demand for the young people, what they need information. They need to know what is STEM field, what are the career, what are the opportunity. They definitely need success stories and role models. If we want more girls to go in our fields, they want to know about more women who succeed in those fields and what are the difficulties and what are the way to go through all difficulties. That's how we can manage or develop the demands among young people. About the supply is mean we definitely need more reform of our educational systems. That's really important and really structural reforms. And what we need definitely is to involve the private sectors because, when I say to someone, please go to STEM studies, they say, to do what? And what are the company who needs my skills, and how will be a success? And that's why we need private sectors to show what are the career, what are the opportunities, and what do we need exactly? What skills do we need so we can rearrange our curricula, rearrange our training programs so our young people fits best in the sector.
Mm-hmm. And that's really key, because we still see that the education system in a lot of countries in Africa, and especially in Francophone Africa, are not aligned with the market and what's happening in the private sector. We still still see this education geared toward becoming an employee and a government worker, which needs to change with this with digital time, and you pointed it out really well. So I mean, that's the young generation, but obviously one of the key things that we see in STEM is that the participation of women is still very low, and that's a global global issue. But since we're talking about Africa, what are the thing that you do to incentivize women to get involved into STEM and become entrepreneur? Because at the end of the day, that's where we want them to become entrepreneur, create platforms that's where they can participate and be fully empowered.
Yes, there is, in my point of view, there is really two problems. A problem of representation and a problem of finance. About representation, we need more African women, Black women, who we put in front. So the other women and the girls have some role models, and I say, okay, I can, if she succeeds, so I can succeed too. That's really something important. And let me just give you an example. When we have launched the database, Women in STEM database in DRC, we have discovered that women in IT are more important than engineer or biologist and chemistry, which is absolutely different from the general thinking of people. They believe that digital do not interest women. Or I can see that in my database, there is more women in digital than in physics, for example, which are absolutely, that's the low proportion is in math and physics. And so, but we need to put that woman in front and to tell their stories. And so we will convince, or everybody could say, okay, it's okay to be in digital, it's okay to be in STEM. The other problem is about finance. It's really difficult for women to get funds for their studies, for their research, for their company. That's why we have launched this scholarship program only in the STEM field. It's really important that we have more important that every country in Africa develop a program only for women in STEM.
Okay, so are you okay? Can you still hear me? I lost you at some point. So
yes, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're back now.
Okay.
So that's very good. So yeah, so all those gaps are not, are not helping, and you the finance part is a key one, because we know that to become an entrepreneur, there's a capital. The capital are very important to start with, and we've seen that women, when they come with their project, they are less, they don't attract a lot of, capital from founders, especially men. So how do we deal with that? What can we do to be able to push that and make sure that women appeal to founders and capital venture, and especially in Africa, because that's a key asset that we need as women to be able to not only to start, but also to sustain, doing business in STEM.
we need the support of men, definitely. That's why in all our program we need to involve men to give more information and to talk about our specific problems. So there are how can I say that? We have to put men to see the problem of women as their problem too. So they can be with us and they can support us. That's really a problem. That's really the big challenge and something we must do. And we women, we must empower the other women. We must help the other women. You know, in my team, I usually not only, but I choose many women, many girls, and I try to help the best I can. And I try to move all the capital or all things through women and push women to be there and talk about it with my fellow men, and so they can empower us too. Really, we have to push men, get information, and talk about data, talk about success, talk about, and not only you should help us. No, we are not demanding or begging for help. No, we are skills, we have competence, we are success. So we represent data, and when they have data, they are eager to help. In my experience.
And you're right, because one of the things that I've seen so far is that we've been used to approach the problem from our feelings point of view, but we have to bring the business side, like you said, the data, the value that we can bring, and collaborate, and and this collaboration start with us first as women, and then obviously access the men as well, because they have to be part of the equation. It's not just about us, it's about developing the continent as far as Africa is concerned, and everybody has to play a role. So I mean, obviously things are not perfect, there's still a lot of gaps. And but with the current, in the current setting, how do you see women, being able, especially a woman entrepreneur, being able to participate, provide services? What are the quick wins, if I can express myself like that?
The quick wins, definitely network, which will definitely help. We need to develop more skills, definitely with digital skills, and we need to work with multidisciplinary team and not stay in our only sector or only with our people. We really need to bring together different people and try to create something new, something which englobe more people, more sectors, and more point of view. And women are able and to do that. So I really rely on them for that, to bring people together and to work with multidisciplinary team and to cooperate. It's really a big challenge, and I think that women have lesson to learn to men in that kind for that. Because Africa needs that. The problem in Africa, we really do not work inside the country. We do inside the continent. We do a lot of cooperation north-south, but very few cooperation south-south. And there is a big difference between the French countries and the English countries. So all these separation need to be merged, and we need to collaborate and have more cooperation between each other. And I believe that women have really a role to play in that point.
And it's funny because we are used as women naturally to bring people together, and yet in those industries we are challenged. We are actually we don't do it, and that's one of our strengths that we don't bring into STEM, which is very funny. And you just mentioned the difference between the French part of Africa and the other part of Africa. Do you think culture is a key thing as well, that we need to work on, as far as bringing the number of women in STEM?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, when I come back here in Congo after spend some times in Europe, and when I present myself as a physicist, and when people are saying what I'm doing, you know, a man told me, you are a man, you are not a woman, because I succeed in science, in STEM fields, so I must be a man. You know, that's all those cultural, culture representation that we definitely need to challenge. And women in STEM, it's quite difficult for women in STEM. Meher, I'm sure that you know the situation.
Yeah.
And because they say to us, okay, you only need to have to marry, to have children, to stay at home, and it's seen quite negative way when you have to work late and come back late and work 7 days and 24 hours. So all the things, and work in only a man environment, that's quite difficult. So, and also all the violence against women, which is really a problem here, especially not especially in Congo, but in Congo there is also a challenge about that. And all the thing with culture is really a difference, and culture between the English and the French people, it's also something really different. The French country are not performing that well in STEM field as country, and not necessarily as individual, but as country. French country are not performing that well as English country in Africa in STEM field, and that's a challenge that we need to.
So in your setting, if you're with your organization, what are the key things that you do to address, the gaps that we see, either the cultural gaps or either the skill gap, and what are the key projects that you have that can be of benefit for any woman or any other organization in Africa, any woman listening to this interview?
Develop skills. That's really important. We are developing training programs to improve skills among women, especially. We provide scholarship, as I said, to help them and to help them to perform their research and study. We empower women, definitely. We talk very positively about women. We talk about role models, and we try not that men feel they are going too low. You know what I mean. We also need to manage ego. That's what we are doing also to help women. But skills, self-confidence. Oh, that's really something that we need, that we work on. It's on self-confidence, and that's what really women need in the STEM sector.
And one problem as well is we talked about funding. So what are, based on your own experience, what do you think are the things that can work for women to get the funding that they need to start in this STEM industry? And what are the things that are available that women can start to look at and check if they want to get involved in the industry, especially in Africa?
They definitely need to, like they say, sortir du bois, and go to meet private sector, go to meet people, bring data, bring information, show what they are doing. We are the time of the internet and all those social media. That's really important to use the social media to talk about what you are doing, to talk about your success story, to talk about your needs, but not needs about begging, but just saying, okay, we need that. With that, we will attain that challenge, that opportunity, that thing. And really, the problem is about communication. That's really the key for women. It's to know how to communicate about your experience, about your company, about your success, to get the right information to the right people. That's really something important, communication for women.
And at the end of the day, what we realize, it starts with us. We have to empower ourselves, and then like you said, uh, be visible
Be
and
visible.
also, be our own promoter, basically promote the work that we're doing, promote the value that we can bring, and look for those investors as well, not just wait for them to
No.
find us. And I think that's the key message here, is that the world is open with the internet, and you can't just sit and wait for somebody to notice you. You have to go out there, find out,
Push. Yeah, find out.
push,
Yes.
and make sure that you do it until you find somebody that's going to be able to help you collaborate or invest in what you're doing. So just
Yes.
to go ahead, Raissa, you wanted to say something?
No, just want to say to women that we are here for you too. We, in our position, we are doing everything that we can to help you. So really, my message, women, will be: do not be afraid. There is always someone there who will help you, man or woman. Believe in that.
And it's important, man or woman,
Yes,
uh,
man or woman.
in my case, because I've worked in the energy sector, where when I started there were not a lot of women around, so I had to go and find those mentors, and I approached some men, and they've been really, really very good mentor and helped me through my career. So even men, please, if you don't have any
Yes.
woman, which is sometimes the case in those STEM sector, just go and ask them. The worst that they can say it's no, but just keep
Yes.
going. So I mean, it's so we're getting toward the end of the interview, and one thing that I want to ask you is, we talk a lot about the glass ceiling, and so what do you think is the glass ceiling in STEM, and do you believe that we can break it completely?
The glass ceiling STEM, especially in Africa, it's about people, men and women, do not believe that women can perform in STEM fields. That's really, really the mindset. They do not believe that we can be as much more, even more competent than men. And that's why we have this glass ceiling. And also, there are men who do not want to have women ahead of them. That's really a cultural problem. And for me, the only way is to have more women in those places, more women who will help the other women to and definitely to break the ceiling. I think that what we can do, women, when we are at a certain situation, at a certain level, we do all that we can so another woman could go a step forward, and that's the best way to break the glass ceiling. And I believe there is more women in STEM field who are performing. There are you, Mireille, there are many other, and I believe that all together we will make the difference.
And hence the importance of sharing our stories, because it's one
Yes.
thing to do well, but it's another thing to share your story, to inspire other women, and then help
Other
them
women.
to use your story and your failures for them to capitalize on that, so that we can all be able to finally break this glass ceiling
Glass
that's
ceiling.
that we have. So just before we leave, any particular message that you want to leave the audience with, um, and something that a message that you really want to pass on to African women, especially African entrepreneur in the STEM sector.
Like they say here in Africa, we are together, on est ensemble. So you can count on us. I mean, us, we are in certain position. We will do everything that we can to help you. Men are also our partners, and we need to work with them, not to keep them aside of our project. And I think that it's together we will make the difference. Let's always have this in mind.
And so collaboration is key.
Collaboration is key,
Collaboration is
definitely.
key, and we all in it together. And I believe it as well. And we've seen it with the pandemic, is that, you know, we all connected in a way. So it's the same here. We all in it together. So we just need to connect the dots and make sure we collaborate. So thank you so much, Raissa, for all
Thank you,
this
Mireille.
information today. It's been amazing. And how do people connect with you? Because if they want to follow up on this short discussion, short, you know, interview, because obviously we have a limited time, but how do people connect with you?
They can connect on Twitter. There is our Twitter account, Science RDC. Okay, it's in French, so Science RDC. With in Facebook or our website. It's in French. I'm sorry, Semaine de la Science RDC. But I will share all the information, so maybe you can write down on the screen or all the links, so people could connect with us. And we will be really happy to connect and to continue this discussion.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again. Thanks for your time. I know that, you know, it's always difficult to fit, you know, an interview in a busy, you know, in a busy schedule, but we really appreciate your time coming here and sharing, you know, your knowledge and your insight on your life as a STEM, you know, entrepreneur, as a woman STEM entrepreneur. Thank you very much, and all the best in everything that you do.
Thank you so much, Mireille. Thank you.
Okay, j'arrête.